welcome to CodeSoft. In this video, we are going to talk about how we can find the maximum element of an array. So let's get started. Now, what does the question says is that suppose we have an array that consists of 5 elements, that is 2, 10, 5, 4, and 9. Now, clearly the maximum element in these is 10, right? Now, how can we find that using code? That we are going to talk in this video. So I would request you to pause the video for a minute and try it on your own. If you're not able to, then please have a look at this video, right? So this is the logic that we are going to implement in this question. So the first step that we have to see is that the maximum value that we are going to find should actually be stored somewhere, right? So we need a variable for that. So first step is declare a variable, say max yearly, and that will store the maximum variable, right? So the maximum value from the array will be stored in a variable, say max yearly. Now the next step is we need to initialize that variable with the least value possible. This is because initialization of a variable is always done with the value that can never be the possible answer. So that is why we will initialize it with the minimum value so that all the values in the array should actually be greater than it and we can compare to get our maximum value, right? The third question is, so basically we have set up, our setup is done. We have created a variable. Now what we'll do, we'll loop through the array from the starting till the end and compare our max yearly with each one of them. So if any variable, any value in the array is greater than that max yearly, we will update the max yearly with that particular value. And if the value of the element or of the array is smaller than max yearly, we will do nothing. And by the end of the array, the maximum value from the array will actually be stored in the max yearly variable, right? So I hope the logic is clear. Now let's move to our editor. So first let's just declare an array. Okay, so we declare an array like this. And if I go by this question only, so the values are 2, 10, 5, 4, and 9. This becomes 2, 10, 5, 4, and 9. Great. Now first thing is we need to declare an array, an element that will, a variable that will store the max element, correct? And we need to initialize it with the minimum value possible. So we can see that all the values in this particular case are positive. So if I initialize it with minus of 1, right, or maybe minus of 1000, then this initialization will actually be correct for this. If in any case you're having large negative numbers in the array, I would recommend you that you can use int min variable also. This actually, the int min value is basically a value from a standard template, and this actually saves the minimum negative value possible in an integer, right? So for now, let's just consider minus 1000. Now our next step is we need to loop through the array, right? So let's loop through the array from 0 till n minus 1. So here there are 5 elements, so we can actually loop till 4. And inside it, what we have to do is we need to compare max element with the element of the array. So, and if the element of the array is greater than max element, we'll actually replace max element with the element of the array. So what I mean to say is if ARRI is greater than max yearly, we will just do max yearly equals to ARRI. And if that is not the case, or maybe the max element is greater than ARRI, we'll do nothing. So by the end of the loop, we'll actually get the maximum value of the array present in max yearly. So this variable will actually be storing the maximum value. So for checking it, we can just output it. So if I do cout max yearly and some space, correct, and then endl, right? And if I just save my code and do build it, and you can see the output is 10. Okay, so we are getting the maximum element through this code, right? Now I will just show you a dry run of this so that you can understand it better, right? So we are having these values. Now initially our max yearly is having minus 1000 value, right? What we are doing is we are going to the array and looping it. So basically in this loop, first we will get the value 2, then 10, then 5, then 4, and then 9. So talking about the first value, that is 2. So if 2 is greater than minus 1000, which is true. So we will enter inside this if statement. Then the max ELE will have the value ARRI. So basically now after first step or first iteration, the max ELE is having the value 2 instead of minus 10,000, minus 1000, right? Now in the second time, I will be incremented, I will become 1. So this statement becomes if ARR1, that is 10, is greater than max element. Now you need to take care that max element has now been changed to 2. So if 10 is greater than 2, which is true, our max element will be will get the value of ARRI, that is 10. So after second iteration, the max ELE has been changed to 10, right? Similarly, we will go to the third iteration and we'll pick up ARR2, that is 5, and 5 is not greater than 10. So our max ELE will not be updated and we will come through the next iteration. And similarly, till the end, you can see that there is no value greater than 10. So at the end of the loop, when I will actually reach 4, or you can say I will actually reach 5, and it will come out of the loop, the max CLE will be having the value 10 because no value other than 10 will be greater than it after max CLE has been set as 10. Correct. And that is why when we will print it, we will get the max element as 10. Now, small more tip in this, if you want to actually find the minimum element of the array, what you actually have to do is just follow the same thing. You initialize it with the largest value possible. So you can actually pick a value of 1000 so that all the values that you compare to are actually smaller than that initialization. Correct. And in the loop itself, you can actually change it to you can change the sign. So basically, whenever an element is smaller than the max element, it will actually be stored in the max element. Or for better understanding, we can just replace it with min element, and this becomes our min element, and this again becomes our min element. So this code will actually give us the minimum element. If I build it, you can see we are getting the value 2. So this is the logic behind max and min element. I have written it in the form of like sentences also. You can have a look at this also. So that's all with this video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to add more festoons into your knowledge garland. And till then, please keep subscribing. Thank you.